Hey there and welcome. Today we'll be learning how to use object-oriented programming in JavaScript. So we're going to be building some classes, doing some inheritance and stuff. Basically we're just going to learn every inch of object-oriented programming that you can do on JavaScript, which is not something that is normal. People usually don't use JavaScript as an object-oriented language. They use it as a more of a declarative, functional based something, procedural ways. Like when you're using Node or something else like React. So we're going to learn how to do this object-oriented programming in JavaScript. So before I proceed, just wanted to explain a little bit about objects and languages and stuff like that. So basically, everything you know in a programming language, most of them are based on objects. Like let's say in something like Java, we usually do something like this. We say string, maybe name, while declaring our variables. So this Java is a statically typed language, but JavaScript on the other end, we just say let name, and the program itself understands that this is a string. So this is because JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. So you can later on come here and say name is equal to number or something. See, also if I try to print out the type of an array, I'll get something pretty weird. So if I say node main with JS, okay, so I did not save this. Okay, let me do it again. So you see the type of an array is an object, which is weird because it's an array. How can it be an object again? So in JavaScript, pretty much everything is behaves like an object. So that's why we get an object here. Let's say I do this, okay? I create a function, call it greet, and in this function I just want to console log something pretty simple, like let me say like hello. When I call this function, we expect to see the hello, right? That's what we get. Pretty simple. What if I do something else here? I say greet.language is equal to English, and I console.log greet.language. Okay, let's see what happens. So you can see it console log English instead of hello. So here this greet function behaved like an object that we created a method inside it. So JavaScript is actually very weird. Sometimes you try to understand some few things like this, like why did it print out English instead of, right? You see, because we created an attribute or a property inside the greet function, so it behaved like an object, something like that. Okay, so now I want to talk about abstraction. It's really simple to do abstraction in JavaScript. So let's go to this file. I'm gonna delete everything here. As a screen here, the terminal as well. So, or maybe let's just keep everything back there and come back here. Say I want to create a class. So in JavaScript, to create classes, just use the class keyword, as in any language, I think. So I want to create a class animal. So this class will contain an attribute of name. So we'll see the name of the animal. So what I want to do, I want to create a constructor. So to create a constructor in JavaScript, we just have to do this. We have to define the constructor by saying constructor, passing the name as a parameter, and just saying this dot name should be equal to name. So this means that we are saying that animal dot name should be equal to the name we've passed in. So this is like saying animal dot name. Remember we defined greet language before. So the same thing applies to functions. So when I say animal, when I say this.name, I mean animal.name. So that's how this keyword, this works. Okay, pretty weird if you are a beginner to understand like this statement. Why would I ever want to say like this.name is equal to this? So this means animal.name is equal to the name we've passed in. So even if I try to change something here, to call it like names, it will still work. But I don't want that. So after that, I want to create a method, a simple method, call it make sound. So I want to make it an arrow function. So this is just a normal function in JavaScript. Okay. And I'm gonna say when someone calls this method, because I want to abstract this method, I want just it to throw an error. So you can say throw new error. What should I say here? I'm gonna say this method should be implemented in the sub classes. Okay, so now that I've created this, I want to create a common display method. So I'm going to say display, just an arrow function is okay. So what is going to display? It's just going to console log. I want a template little, so I'm going to say let me do this. Wait, let me do this. This.name. So I'm going to say this was the name of the animal. Makes the sound so like that. So this is what is going to happen. So now I want to use this class to inherit this class. So we're going to see inheritance as well in this part. So I'm just going to create a dog class. I'm going to say class dog extends animal. So this is how you do inheritance in JavaScript. Just use the extend keyword. It's pretty much simple. I'm pretty sure most of other languages do the same, except from Python. I think Python doesn't use the extend keyword. Just simply passing the class as a parameter, something like that. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to initialize a constructor for this class. You're just going to take the name, and I want to do super. So I'm going to pass in the name that we have received here to the mother class, so to the animal class. So this is going to be the name that we pass in here. Okay. Then I want to do something else. I want to create now to implement the make sound method. So I'm gonna simply just override. So this is going just to return like woof, like that's what the dog do, like, right? And now I want to use this. So I'm just gonna say here, I'm gonna say const dog is equal to new dog, call him Riley, okay, and I'm gonna say dog dot display, so that we can see what happens now. Let me try to render this. You can learn this on the browser, but I just want to do this in the demo, so I'm going to use Node. So it says Riley makes sound woof woof. So we have inherited the display method from the super class, mother class, and we have abstracted the method here, make sound, and implemented it here, so you can see woof woof instead of this weird stuff here. I'm pretty sure if I try to do this, let me try to do something. Okay, I'm gonna say let animal let let me say just a equal to new animal a. Okay, I'm gonna say a dot display. So this will throw an error. So as you can see, there is an error here. It said this method should be implemented. Yeah, right. So that method works, but we just even if I just cancel out something here, it will still work. But we have abstracted this method and implemented it down below here. So that's how we perform abstraction in JavaScript. So this is really cool. And we also did inheritance here. We extended the class here and inherited something. So that's it. Yeah. So if I wanted to do like something else, pretty sure encapsulation, something like that. So I'll just create simple getters and setters, stuff like that, so that we should not be able to access these attributes from the software from directly from outside this class. Like I shouldn't be able to say like a.name. Let me try to do that. I'm just gonna say console.log a.name. Let me see what happens. I wanna delete this. Okay, let me see what happens. Okay, a.name is a, so we were able to access a.name outside the class, so we don't want that. So you can go ahead and create like a get name method, like here. Let me say here I want to get the dog's name. I could just go and say get name and name method. Let me just do an arrow function. Should return a simple this name. Why is it doing this? Okay, right, should be the space there. Okay, so if I just say console.log dog.name, so this will say right, because that's the name we passed in. So we have abstracted, no, I mean we have encapsulated the name. Okay, so if you want to maybe set the name, you can just create another method here and say maybe set name something should be equal to an arrow function, and say this dot name should be equal to the name we passed in. So we have to pass in the name here. Okay, so let me try to do that. And just gonna say dog dot set name to maybe John or something. So this dog is gonna be named John. And if I do the display method again, if I do this here, so this time we're gonna see John, I think. Yeah, John. So we have set the name. Before we saw it, the name was Riley. Let me do this. Let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, so we're going to display it twice. So the first name was Riley and the second name was John. So we used encapsulation methods properties to change this here. So that's it for abstraction, inheritance, and encapsulation. That's pretty much all the cool stuff you can do. You can do pretty much many things with it, but this is just the basic one that are very easy to do. Like for the beginner level stuff, you can add some things, figure out some new things that JavaScript can do. Overall, JavaScript is a very powerful language. So in polymorphism, we're just gonna do simple stuff here, just pretty basic things. So I'm gonna create a class called shape. Just that. I'm gonna define a constructor for it, like this. Wait, I don't actually need a constructor for this class, because we're going to apply polymorphism to it. So I'm just gonna create a method, call it area. This time I'm just gonna use a normal method, not an arrow function. So this time I'm gonna say throw. We'll just do this console.log this should be implemented in the sub classes. Okay, so now I want to create a subclass called circle. We're just gonna say class circle, create a constructor for it which will receive the radius. Okay, I have to spell this correctly. Radius, and I'm gonna say super. Okay, so I want to say this dot radius is equal to the radius we have passed in. Okay, next thing I want to redefine the area method. So the area method for the circle is just gonna return math dot pi with the capital letters times this dot radius times again this dot radius. So it can be just pi r square radius. Okay, and I want to create another class down here and call it class rectangle. Create a constructor for it as well, pass in the width and the height, I think, not the length. Okay, height. Just gonna say super again. Gonna say this dot width should be equal to width, and this dot height should be equal to height. Then I'm gonna define the area method for this as well. Just return. Okay, just gonna be radius, width times height. So I'm gonna say this dot width times this dot height. So that's pretty much it for polymorphism. Now I have to use this. So I'm just gonna say maybe const shapes is equal to an array, simple array in here. We're just passing the two objects, new circle radius of maybe 2 and new rectangle with 3 and 5. Then I'm gonna create a loop through all this. So first I need to clear this. It's really boring staring at it, looking at it, you know. So I just want to create a simple loop. I'm gonna say shapes dot for each, and for each we are passing the shape, and just gonna perform a simple console.log shape.area, okay, like that. So hopefully this works. So let us see if it does. So I'm just gonna say node poly.js. Wait. So we are having an error. What is it saying? Saying that there's something wrong with super. It's line 9. What is it? Unexpected super keyword. Line 9. Why is that? Why is that? Let me try to do something else here. Let me do this. Let me try again. Just simply try again. The same error. Unexpected super keyword. Line 9. Right. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this is just a simple error. It could be just a simple bug. So nothing to worry about. Line 9. Let me try to remove it and see what happens. What does it say this time? Line 19. Okay, let me remove it this as well and see what happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure since I did not inherit any of this, so there was no need for me. Yeah, if I wanted to put the super key, yeah, I say that, like I said, it was a simple bug. So if I wanted to put the super keyword here, yeah, so what we have done is not polymorphism so far. You just have to add this to both of these places. Just say extends shape. Okay, that's why it was telling me that, because we did not extend the classes. So I'm just gonna do this. So you see this time it works. So you can see the area is 12.55, and the area of the circle is 12, and the area of the rectangle is 15. So far everything worked perfectly. So the next thing, I want to do something with the things that we have learned. So I want us to do something very simple. Let me see. I want to open. Why does it not open? Okay, so we're going to build this to large simple to-do list with the topics we've learned. So we're just gonna add a new task. Say a new task. It's just the basic stuff, but we're going to use the object-oriented programming where you can make it complete or not complete. You can delete it. You can add something else like that, add anything else like that. And if you try to add an empty string, it doesn't work. Okay, so just pretty basic stuff, but we're going to use the object-oriented programming way of JavaScript instead of the normal usual way. So let us do that next. Okay. So I have created a simple HTML here. You can see just basic one like that. Yeah, and this is the actual page. Let me open the DevTools. Okay, so, and I have defined a little bit of CSS. So the HTML and CSS is not the main topic of this course, so I'm just gonna stick with this simple layout. It looks ugly, but it does the job. Okay, so I want to now start coding the actual mechanism with the JavaScript. So this is the JavaScript behind everything. So let me just do this first. Let me increase the size. Okay, so I'm gonna say console.log this works. So let me see if this did happen. So you can see this works. Okay, so that it worked. So what I want to do now, because we said we want to use object-oriented programming here, I want to create a class, because this is a to-do list. I'm just going to create a class called tasks. task here, right? And define a constructor for it. It's going to be receiving a description for this task. And I'm just going to say this dot description should be equal to the description I've received, and we're going to say this. Then I'm going to say this dot completed. So this is the value that see if the task is completed or not. Should be equal to false by default. So that's it for the class, for the constructor. Now I just want to create a method for toggling completed. So I'm just going to say toggle completed like that, and this just gonna do this, just gonna return the opposite of what it was before. So I'm just gonna say this dot completed is equal to not this dot completed. So just gonna reverse the value that it was before. So that's pretty much it for the task class. The next class I want to create the class for handling the to-do list. So I'm just gonna call it to-do list like that. Create a constructor for it. It's going to be receiving nothing. I'm just gonna say this dot tasks is equal to an empty array, not an object array. So that's it. I'm just gonna create a method here. Say add task, and this method will be receiving description of the task, and what it's going to do is just I'm gonna say const task is equal to new task, okay, like that, passing the description. And I'm just gonna say this dot task dot push, dot tasks dot push the task that we have created above here. So like that. So the next thing I want to do, I want to render it. So I'm just gonna say this dot render. I haven't yet created this method, so let me just create it here. Just gonna say for now we do this, we'll say render, just console dot log this dot tasks here. So, and I'm just gonna say const to do list should be equal to new to do list like that. And I'm gonna say list dot render just for now. So I want to see the tasks here, so to know that I want to know if this works. So I'm just gonna do something. I'm just gonna say to do list dot add task, just gonna add then go length. Okay, so let's see if this appeared. So here is the actual thing. So we can see that we've cancelled out the object here like that. So that means it works. I don't know why it appeared twice, but it works. Who cares? Yeah, it is because I called the render method here. So I don't need to call the render method because I already called it in the add task. That is why it appeared twice. Okay, this time I'm pretty sure it will appear only once. I did not save. After I save it, just once. So I can add as many tasks as I want here. They are all going to appear. You can see, yeah, like that. So the render method works. So the next thing I want to do, I want to create a method to delete a task. So I'm just gonna say, don't want this. I don't want any of this. Let me just do this. Oh shit! Just let me remove them. I want to create another method. I'm just gonna say delete a task. It's going to be receiving an index. I'm just gonna say this dot tasks dot splice. splice the index on, and it's just gonna re-render everything. It's not render. Okay, now I want to create a method to toggle the class, the task. Toggle, taking the index of the task. Just gonna say this dot tasks of the index dot toggle completed. So this method we defined it here because when we add the task we actually add the entire object, so it comes in with the methods in it. So just like that. Then I'm just gonna say again this dot render. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So here in the render, I want to now grab the elements from the HTML here that we defined. It's pretty basic, just few divs and containers. So I just want to grab this. So I'm just gonna say cons task list is equal to document dot get element by id task. What did I call it here? Task list. Okay, list should be a string, right? Like that. And I want to get its value, so I'm just gonna say let the description be equal to before I do this, okay, I have to do something else. I'm just gonna say task list dot inner HTML, just to make sure that it's empty. It's equal to an empty string. So I'm just gonna by default put it as an empty string. So I'm gonna say this dot tasks. I want to loop through all the tasks. Dot for each. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a. I'm gonna take in. Wait, what's going on? I'm gonna take in the task and its index, and it's just gonna render something out here. So I'm just gonna say render this. I'm just gonna say const task item should be equal to, okay, I'm gonna create an element. So I'm gonna say document dot create element. What element do I want to create? I want to create a list. Element should be a string. I'm gonna say task item dot text on text content should be equal to the what should be equal to the what do I want to do? The task, okay, should be equal to the task that we are in dot description, okay, just like that. And I'm gonna say okay, task item dot class name is equal to if task dot completed. So I'm gonna if just task dot completed. So I'm just gonna add this completed. So I had a class name completed below here. So if it's completed, just gonna put a line through it, just like that. So that's why. Also, if it's not completed, just an empty string. Leave it like that. Okay, so far we've done everything. Now we need an actual like event. So I'm gonna say task item dot on click, okay, we perform this our function. So it's going to be taking the event, okay, event. I'm just gonna toggle the I'm gonna say this dot gonna toggle the class name. So this dot toggle task, that is going to change the completed value, then toggle also change the class name here. So once this item is quick, it's going to add a line through it like that. So I'm just gonna say of the index here, the index that we are in this loop. Now I want a delete button, so I'm just gonna say const delete btn is equal to document dot create element just want a button like that. I also want to add the text content, so I'm just gonna say delete btn dot text, what is this, text content should be delete. And I want something else. I want to define the on click for the delete. I'm just gonna say delete btn dot on click. This should be just simple. Just gonna do this. I'm just gonna say this dot delete task index, okay, just like that. And I want something else. I want to do and stop propagation. So I'm just gonna say event dot stop propagation, okay, like that. So I need to pass in the event as well here. I actually didn't use the event before. I thought I would, but I didn't, so I'm just gonna remove it from here. Don't actually need it right now. So up to this point, just have to append this delete button. I'm just gonna say task item dot append child. This actually basically just adds the child to the object. Okay, and I want to now to append the actual task item to the task list. So I'm just gonna say task list dot append child the task item, okay, like that. So this is it. I just have to find a way to render the actual things to the front end, yeah, like that. So I'm just gonna create a function outside of everything here. Gonna call it just gonna say const add task. My naming convention isn't very good. Just gonna say const task input. The input is equal to document dot get element. What did I call it? Task input. Okay, so I'm just gonna say dot get element by ID task input. Now I want to just gonna say simply say let description be equal to task input dot value. Then I want to say dot trim. What is this? Value. So this dot trim here, what it does is just removing it just removes the trailing and ending spaces like this. So just remove this, so you won't be able to add an empty space as a task. So that's what it does. It should be a function, a method, I think, something like that. So just want to say if the description is there, I want to say to do, what did I call it here? Okay, I just wanna create an instance of the to-do list. I deleted that, so just gonna say the to-do list is equal to new to-do list, like that, and say to-do list here dot add task, the description. Then I'm just gonna reset the input value to empty. So we say input dot value again should be equal to an empty string, like that. So now I just want to display them. I just want to find a way to learn these functions. I'm just gonna grab the button. So add btn is equal to, what did I call it? So this button here I called it add btn. So document element id, and I'm gonna say add btn dot add event listener. So we're just gonna listen to the click event. I'm just gonna run this simple function after that, this callback function. I'm just gonna say add task here, like that. So let's try this out. So I'm gonna open the browser and say hello, add the task. So you can see that it worked. Yeah, there's some issue here. We're not actually able to toggle the class, so I'm just gonna see what's wrong. Yeah, it should be complete, not completed. So now if I say still not working, why is that? The delete method works. As you can see, after I click the add button, we reset the value here. So there's some issue. I want to know what it is. Why does it not work? Where is the CSS? Okay, so it should be completed. Just deleted something that was right. Completed. Let me see. Okay, completed, like that. Okay, let me see. Let me try again. I don't know why it doesn't work. Let me try to debug this real quick. Quick. Why doesn't it not work? Quick. Okay, let me do this. Just add the what? Try it out someplace else. Just gonna say here, class completed. So if this works, okay, so that worked. So the issue is actually in the JavaScript. That means that. So why does it not work? Task.completed. Completed. Why doesn't it work? Let me see. Let me try to do this, something that is very silly, but it might work. Don't know why it doesn't work, but it should work. So it did work. This time you see it changed. You see, but it's just not real time. That means something. That means once we okay. Yeah, here's the issue. So That's why it did not work. So if I do it now, yeah, this time it works. So it's just a typo, simple typo, like that. Okay, yeah. So that's how you build a to-do using a object-oriented JavaScript. Basically just created two classes and did everything in it. So that's pretty much everything for today. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty amazing stuff. Bye.